you may have seen a number of really cool features. One that really caught my eye was an aspect of visual intelligence where you can effectively select something on the screen and then recognize it and then figure out where to buy it. So I thought that that sounded pretty cool. And I was thinking, well, could we create something like that on Senza where you could be playing a video and recognize what it is and figure out where to buy it? So, as usual, I was feeling particularly lazy today and thought that I would just vibe code this with ChatGPT. I thought about breaking the problem down into a couple of manageable pieces where it could help me write some of that code. So here's the prompt that I gave it. I'm just going to talk through it, and that's basically just an introduction to the app that we're going to write today. So here we go. I'm interested in making a web app that can play a video, recognize products in the video, determine my current location, and tell me where I can buy those products nearby. I think the components should be like this: an HTML5 video player. When the user presses the Enter key, call a function to do the following: get the current frame from the video as image data, do a reverse image search to tell what product is in the video, get the user's IP address and call a geolocation service that returns the current city, find a store that sells the product nearby, and then show the store in a Google Map pop-up. So what I find interesting here is that that's a lot of pieces, but we were able to build this app with ChatGPT where for some of them it went and did the work. It suggested making a full stack app with a backend service. And then here's a little bit about about the code that it suggested, and we'll go over all the code in detail, what the final version is. And went back and forth with a couple of ideas for different APIs to call, etc., etc. But why don't we just go jump into a demo, and then you can see how it works, and then we'll go through the final code. So here we have basically a video of some cars driving by. I'm going to call them products. And basically when I just hit the OK key, meaning the Enter key on my keyboard, it's going to freeze that picture, do all the things that I said. ChatGPT actually takes about 10 seconds to recognize the product and return what it is. And then you can see that I've got a map of BMW of Brooklyn. So that is in fact the nearest place to buy that product. And I set up the arrow keys so that I can jump around in the video. So let's try the same thing with an Audi. It's going to go ahead and try to recognize what that is. And then here we are, Audi Brooklyn. So that's all working rather well. Let's go ahead and have a look at the code that it came up with. So we've got a full stack app using a small backend in Node that we use to call some of the APIs. And it does all the things that we just discussed. Note that if you want to check out this app and run it yourself, you're going to need to fill in a couple of API keys. And so in an environment file, you can fill those in yourself. And then here are the links that you'll need to follow to get all the keys you'll need to unlock this cool functionality. So let's go ahead and have a look at the server file. This is just a regular boilerplate program with Express to serve up some APIs as well as the static content. So we are using OpenAPI's module to use GPT-4o to look this up. And the prompt that we're going to use is, what is the brand or name of the most identifiable product in this image? Respond with only the product name. So that all works rather well. You'll see that this API endpoint is designed to accept image data, so it's feeding not only a text, but also the image data itself as part of the prompt. So that's pretty cool. We're also using a Google Maps API to find a place based on the query. The query is basically going to be composed of the name of the product and the name of the current city. Some of the geolocation stuff is going to run client side, but we do have a secure way, semi-secure way of letting the client look up the keys for the IP data lookup service as well as Google Maps. They are somewhat obfuscated so that they do not get transmitted completely in the clear, although it's not a super secret solution. So let's go ahead and look at the client code as well. That is, of course, in the public folder. So this is standard Senza stuff for playing a video. The only thing you'll see that's new is that when the video gets to the end, we're going to loop it around so that it keeps playing. We've got a standard key listener. When you press the OK button, it's going to find the product. We also let you play pause with escape, and the arrows skip back and forth 3 seconds. That's a handy thing so that as you're working on the app, you can make that's about as much time as it takes for one car to drive by in this video, so that makes it a little easier for debugging. So the main function that we're going to call is find product. And if you ignore some of the CSS stuff that we use to make that little pop-up bigger and smaller, the main things that it's going to do are it's going to get the current video frame as data. Then it's going to call identify product to call that API to get the name of the product. Then it's going to call a geolocation service to get the current city. Naturally, we're using a technique here that works on Senza, so you figure out where the user really is, not where their app is running in a data center. We call find store nearby to get the store, and then we show that store on a map. So at a high level, that's the whole program. Let's dive in a little bit further. And again, I didn't write this code. ChatGPT wrote most of it for me, so I'm just going to read it along with you. But here's some code where we use a canvas to basically grab the current video frame. That just works. Calling identify product is as simple as calling our backend's little identify API and then passing in the image data, which is stringified here. Getting the current city is just a matter of calling the this particular endpoint from IP data, and you'll note that we're getting the IP address of the actual client from the device manager, like that. Finding the store is just as simple as making an API call to find place in the backend and passing in the query, which is essentially just the name of the product, comma, the name of the city. Turns out that works rather well. And here's some Google Voodoo for loading the Google Maps script asynchronously and highlighting the requested location on the map is handled by this show on map function. We zoom in rather close so you can actually see the name of the business by default on the latitude and longitude of the data we got from the map lookup function. And that's about it for the code. Let's go ahead and have a look at how that runs on Senza, and I think that you will not be surprised that whatever ran in the browser runs just fine on Senza as well. So we're going to do the same thing, and I'm going to do this on screen where I zap that little Prius, and it should show me something like Toyota of maybe somewhere in Brooklyn. Toyota of Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Not too close, but it is in fact in Brooklyn. Very good. Let's do it again with this Audi. I think we did that before, and you'll see something similar. I think we haven't done the Ford yet, so let's try this little focus. Boom. It should tell that that's a Ford, and it recognizes focus camera. Well, okay, well, it's definitely a Focus. Probably not where you can buy that Focus, but I can assure you I have seen this work before. The Renault, it's not going to find anywhere near here. This is a video from Spain, but a lot of these cars are sold worldwide, so I think you get the idea that it works fine. So that's about it. Want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed how you can vibe code something that even if it sounds like something that involves magic, if you just break it down into the little steps, it's possible to do something really cool without really writing any code at all. So, thanks for watching.